Huge news coming out of the UFC this morning as lightweight champion Ilia Topuria announces on Instagram that he'll be taking a hiatus from defending his title as he deals with legal matters related to his divorce. We kind of saw some of this coming as he did already say he wouldn't be fighting until 2026. With this message, it seems like that absence might be extended.
Slightly disappointing because he hadn't spoke to me. He hadn't given any he was already giving updates on my health and he had no idea what had gone on. Yeah, so disappointing, mate. Disappointing.
Tom Aspinall did interviews recently saying that his eye is not better. He was a little bit disappointed with some comments you made. Have you spoke to Tom? Do you know anything about that? And what's your reaction to what he said?
In the high-stakes world of the UFC, a championship belt is more than just gold and leather. It is a target that requires constant defense. But as we move into 2026, two of the most dominant forces in the sport, Tom Aspinall and Ilia Topuria, have seen their careers come to a grinding halt. Not because of a loss in the cage, but due to a series of medical and legal nightmares that have left the promotion in total disarray. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on everything happening inside and outside the octagon, make sure to subscribe right now so you never miss an update on the fights that actually matter. The landscape of mixed martial arts is often defined by momentum, but right now, the UFC...
They don't really know when I'm going to be back at the moment. I'm still not even clear to train or do anything. They're talking about doing surgery on both eyes. They're talking about injection. I have to get an injection in the eyeball. So
UFC is dealing with a strange kind of paralysis. Two of its most prized champions, the heavyweight king Tom Aspinall and the lightweight titan Ilia Topuria, are currently sidelined indefinitely. While their reasons for being away couldn't be more different, the impact on their respective divisions is identical. Total stagnation. For Dana White, this is a logistical headache of massive proportions. Usually, the UFC machine keeps rolling, but when the men at the very top are incapacitated, the gears start to grind. Tom Aspinall's situation is particularly tragic because it stems from the very violence he excels at. Back in October 2025, at UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi, Aspinall was set to cement his legacy against Cyril Gane. Instead, the fight ended in a haunting no contest just minutes into the first round. An accidental double eye poke left Aspinall collapse on the canvas, disoriented and unable to see. What many fans initially hoped was a temporary sting turned out to be a career-threatening catastrophe. The medical reality for Aspinall is grim. He wasn't just dealing with a scratch. The diagnosis included bilateral traumatic Brown syndrome, orbital soft tissue trauma, and a fractured right medial orbital wall. In layman's terms, the structural integrity of his eye socket was compromised, leading to double vision, blurred sight, and extreme light sensitivity. Doctors have described it as one of the most extreme cases of ocular trauma they've seen in professional sports. Aspinall's own account is...
Most damning of all is that he said this.
It's unfortunate that it ended the way that it did, and yes, I think that there probably will be a lot more interest in the rematch after they saw, he had Tom bloodied up and, Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So the rematch is very interesting.
If Dana White cannot understand that Tom didn't want to continue in the fight, is not the ultimate insult to a guy that got his eye
recovery is sobering. He recently admitted that he isn't even cleared to light train. There's talk of invasive surgeries on both eyes and even direct injections into the eyeball to manage inflammation and tendon damage. As of late December 2025, the heavyweight champion remains in a medical limbo. While Dana White has publicly stated the UFC is monitoring him and hopes to rebook the Gane rematch in early 2026, the lack of a firm timeline suggests the recovery is far more complicated than the promotion is letting on. While Aspinall fights a physical battle, Ilia Topuria is embroiled in a psychological and legal war. After capturing the lightweight throne in mid-2025 with a stunning knockout of Charles Oliveira, Topuria seemed destined for a long reign. However, by December, he stunned the MMA community by announcing a total hiatus from the sport. The reason? A messy, public, and increasingly toxic divorce from his wife, Georgina Uskatigi-Bedell. The split first became public knowledge in October 2025 when eagle-eyed fans noticed the couple had scrubbed their social media of each other's existence. What started as rumors of infidelity and bot-buying revenge quickly spiraled into something much darker. Topuria has since taken to Instagram to level serious accusations against his estranged wife, claiming he is the victim of an extortion plot. He alleges that Bedell threatened to fabricate domestic abuse allegations unless her financial demands were met, demands that reportedly included half of his total assets. Topuria has been firm in his defense, stating he has preserved audio recordings, witness statements, and video evidence to prove his innocence and highlight the attempted extortion. Despite the lack of any official police reports or arrests, the Matador has made it clear that he cannot focus on defending a world title while his personal life is under such extreme litigation. He has effectively removed himself from the board until at least the second quarter of 2026, leaving the 155-pound division, the most talent-rich weight class in the sport, without a leader. This dual division paralysis has forced Dana White to take two very different paths. For the lightweight division, the UFC has already pulled the interim trigger. Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett are set to collide at UFC 324 in January 2026. This fight isn't just about a temporary belt. It's about keeping the division moving and providing a headliner for the UFC's massive new broadcast deal with Paramount+. The winner will be the de facto champion until Topuria can resolve his legal battles and return for a unification bout. In the heavyweight division, however, White is playing a waiting game. There has been no move to create an interim title while Aspinall heals. This discrepancy in treatment hasn't gone unnoticed. Many analysts believe White is being more lenient with Aspinall because his absence is due to an in-competition injury, whereas Topuria's absence is personal. However, the 2025 rules on champion inactivity have become much stricter. Figures like Chael Sonnen have argued that if a champion cannot compete for non-medical reasons, they should be stripped immediately to protect the integrity of the rankings. The tension between Aspinall and White has only added fuel to the fire. Following the injury at UFC 321, White made a comment that Aspinall didn't want to continue, a phrase that is an absolute insult to a professional fighter. Aspinall addressed this head-on, expressing deep disappointment that the CEO of the company would imply he quit when he literally could not see. More telling is the fact that Aspinall revealed he hadn't spoken to Dana personally for over 6 weeks following the injury, dealing instead with Hunter Campbell. This perceived lack of support for a defending champion has created a rift that may take a long time to heal. Interestingly, both champions seem to be looking at the exit door, or at least a side door into the world of boxing. This is a growing trend among elite MMA fighters who are tired of the UFC's rigid pay structure and the physical toll of the octagon. Aspinall has been seen training with Tommy Fury and has expressed a genuine interest in big-name boxing matches, specifically eyeing a crossover with Francis Ngannou. His father, Andy Aspinall, has been vocal about the financial benefits of boxing, suggesting that at 33, Tom needs to maximize his earning potential while he still can. Topuria is even more ambitious. He has described his MMA career as something he wants to finish before making a full-time transition to the squared circle. He hasn't just teased the idea. He has named targets like Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Topuria believes his striking is elite enough to shock the boxing world, and he has stated that he doesn't plan on staying in MMA for very long. For the UFC, having two of your primary champions openly discussing their departure to a rival sport is a branding nightmare. Dana White, ever the businessman, is trying to stay ahead of this trend by launching Zuffa Boxing. By partnering with Saudi-backed interests, White hopes to create a boxing league that mirrors the UFC structure, complete with its own belts and a Contender Series-style talent pipeline.